Yep.
All right, let's bring the audit of finance committee to order. And I believe we're gonna hear from John Miller.
Yep.
All right, on property insurance.
Right. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, John.
Today,
You sit on
we're-
that other side if you wanna feel more free. You know, it's up to you.
you okay?
I'm good.
Okay.
I'm on this side, so I'm good.
We're going over our property coverage, which is effective on September 9th. Put a little chart together for you, the same as each year. The good news is that FMs did not increase our rate per thousand, but the premium has gone up because our values have gone up. On the replacement cost basis, our bus inventory is at a higher value. And they have made some adjustments further down, which we'll go over. So to start with, last year's cost was $287,514, and this year's will be $360,494, primarily because the rate stays the same, but the values did go up, and we added Cortland. There might be a little adjustment to this once we moved into Cortland on the 8th, but it's not going to be a lot of money, if anything at all. Our deductible remains the same at $25,000. Our form includes earthquake at $100,000 deductible. Our form includes flood with $100,000 deductible. But for those areas in the floodplain, they have increased the deductible to $500,000. The maximum we could get on Leland is $2 million, which really hasn't changed. But they have combined the maximum for here and Oswego to $1 million. The maximum limit per location for our vehicles is $73,000. And this is a little bit of a change. And I'll tell you what I did, and we can always undo it. Our values here are $98 million and change. So the most that we could collect, if we lost all of our vehicles here, is $73 million. I don't see how that can happen. We've got some outside, some inside. But if we want to increase it, which I told them not to, but I would go back, it's another $35,000 in premium. So to me, that's a lot of money where I really don't think we have the exposure on it, you know. But if anybody disagrees with that, we'll fix it. And they will charge us for it. Substantially, as a matter of fact. But they're it all has to do with the reinsurance market. So that's why they made that change. But if we want to pay for the reinsurance, we can do it. Up to you guys.
John, can I
Yeah.
just ask a question? Is the $73 million just on the vehicles in Syracuse alone? Or does it combine Oswego?
It's the most at any one location. Nobody else comes close. So
Okay,
we're fine every place if we lost every vehicle
okay,
except you.
all right, that's what I wanted to know.
I think, you know, we got, look, the one fire that we had, we did very well, so I can't complain from that. What we've done is we depreciate the vehicles over a 12-year period. That's our life. So give me the sheets. We calculate the depreciation up to half, and then I keep it the same. That's because we can collect if it's worth more. And so that 98,000 equals not only the new buses, but the depreciated value on all the other equipment. that's the report. I mean, as far as what they're doing, they did not choose to increase the rate per thousand of coverage, so that was a good sign. It's only the limitation on the vehicles, and the only location that would be affected would be here. And I don't think we got a huge chance of losing every vehicle if we had a fire. We're very well protected. Anybody got any questions? Anybody wanna go back and spend $35,000 more? I'm good, if you're good. Thank you.
Can we get a motion to approve, property insurance renewal? Darlene? Julie, okay.
You know, Chris, even with my bad eyesight, I can see you come.
All in favor?
All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? All right, motion passes. Melissa's report.
Good morning, everybody. Starting with the statement of revenues and expenditures, after 4 months ending July 31st, we have a consolidated operating income of $1.1 million. This excludes capital contributions and non-operating expenses. For operating revenues, we are trending at 2.8% over budget, 6.4% over prior year, and 17% over fiscal year 24. The favorable increase is due to the ridership for both fixed route and demand response services. So that's demand response in Oneida, in our road location, and then Colobus, which is mostly driven by higher than anticipated fare box revenue collection. Special line revenue is favorable, and that is attributed to contract rate increases, which we anticipated, and then some increases in service requests. Any questions in regards to revenues? Our operating expenses total $30.2 million, which is $3.3 million under budget expectations and $2.4 million over prior year. Personnel expenses are performing at $2.9 million under budget. All personnel expenses categories are currently under budget with exception to workers' comp, and that is driven by having 7 more open claims in this year compared to prior year. Again, like I always say, we budget conservatively, so those are all budgeted at being fully staffed. So the expectation at this point is to be under budget. Non-personnel expenses are $408,000 under budget and $1.5 million over prior year. All non-personnel expenses categories are performing at or below budget with exception of risk management. This is true over the year as well. Risk management is the outlier, and that variance is driven both by premium costs, being self-insured in most of our insurances, and as well as a prior year claim for our auto GL policy. Any questions in regards to the expenses?
How does accidents, or claims affect that?
That is that line.
That's
So
what it is. So,
it's mostly driven by a large claim from prior year. Any additional questions? So overall, operating expenses are 9.9% under budget, 8.6% over prior year, and 18% over fiscal year 2024. Non-operating revenues are performing at 3.7% under budget, 5.6% over prior year, and 11% over 2024. This is probably the biggest variance is due to mortgage recording tax. This continues to perform favorably, better than prior year and better than budget expectations. And going into further detail, it is 40% over budget, 39% over prior year, and 37% over fiscal 2024. and in line with fiscal year 2022, which, to record was our highest year of mortgage recording tax assessment authority. So we're on a positive trend. That's unexpected, but very exciting to see. Any questions at this point? Our investment report, unrestricted operating cash totals 11 million as of July 31st. Uninvested board designated funds are 4.1 million, with a total uninvested cash total being 15.4 million. The current investments include 5 million in operating funds and 14.5 million in board designated funds. The yields are still performing just above 4%. And through the month of July, the highest yield rates were at the 2 and 3 month term. But in August, we're seeing that the highest yields are really 1 month, maybe 2 month term. And I think that's waiting for the Fed's interest rate announcement to come out. So we're keeping a close eye on that and trying to optimize the best return. Any questions there? Okay, cash flow. During the month of July, we were in receipt of 2.8 million in operating funds and capital contributions, so those are the reimbursements of our capital expenses. We utilized 9.5 million in cash for operating expenses. Reserves are currently at 18 million, and we still continue to have a pretty healthy cash flow. Any questions on our cash flow? There's no questions, and that concludes my report.
I do have one question regarding the mortgage tax in Oswego County. So it looks like it went from 77 to 190,000. What is the reason for that jump?
So that's a year-over-year comparison, and it's just how many houses closed in that time period last July versus this July. So we don't really have that data specifically. I could just say that there's more closing activity in the month of July this year versus last year.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Seems like we're in a healthy place.
Yes.
So my question to you would be, other things that we need to worry about with what's happening in the government, and the things we're looking out for that we're concerned about?
I think we are in a transition year where last year we still had COVID relief funds. Obviously we expended all those last year. So like a quick summary our biggest funding stream right now is our STOA. On a quarterly basis, we get 14.3 million in STOA, and that really supports our operations. Our quarterly expenses are about 24 million. So we're about 10 million shy in a quarter. Obviously, that's made up by other sources of revenue, our contracted revenue, our fixed route revenue, mortgage recording tax. So I anticipate trends to be similar to pre-COVID, where cash starts depleting. But that is one of the things we are looking at as other revenue opportunities and different ways to generate revenue. So those are the things that we should be aware of in this next year, is that the month over month gains that we've seen in the last couple of years may not be the trend in the future.
I have a question regarding your STOA.
Yeah.
With the regional authority STOA, are you guys getting your actuals for STOA or still off of 2019 numbers? We in our county get STOA based on 2019 pre-COVID right now. So is that the same for you guys?
So our STOA is calculated different than smaller municipalities. So ours is legislated, so ours is dictated by the governor's increase. So we have a base, like last year's base was X amount, and then in the governor's budget, they say you will get an X percentage over that. So our STOA is not truly calculated on passengers
And miles?
and miles.
Okay.
Where you guys are being held harmless still.
Yeah.
Ours is just an annual increase year over year.
Okay, that makes sense. Thank
Yeah,
you.
we've advocated for that through NIPTA to make sure that the smaller associations or smaller agencies are held harmless because of the variance in ridership and the formula calculations that you guys pre-bound. So they continue to honor that. We're hoping
They
to
have, and
continue
we
that.
appreciate that.
Yeah, it's definitely something we see for you guys, Watertown, Boone County, such, they're all in line on that.
Thank you, I appreciate that.
So a motion to approve 25-26 first quarter financial statements, that Melissa presented. Julius, Melanie? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries, thank you.
Anything else, Melissa?
Nope, that concludes my report.
So that would conclude, we can take a 5-minute break, we'll come back at 9:30.
Conclude the audit files. Bring the line to order. We're gonna start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm gonna ask Jackie to lead us, since I can tell her to do something.
I pledge
allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you.
Did you do a good job?
You did all right. You started us off. That's all.
Hey, Mr. Chairman, we should officially welcome Heather.
Unless you want to go out of order.
He's new.
I understand. Julius, you're on track, man.
Julius, stay in your lane.
I got the track on.
All right. So we're gonna start with retirement.
Yeah, we got a couple of recognitions and retirements. So there's two write-ups. One for Tom Jeremy.
All right.
Let's start with Tom. Yeah, that one's Tom.
We're gonna start with Tom Jeremy, has retired effective August 1st, 2025. He has been with Central since July 17th, 2000, 25 years. That's impressive.
Yeah, that is.
Tom joined Central's Information Technology Department in a full-time permanent role in July. It says 200, but I'm guessing that's 2000. Accepting the position as Network Administrator. Since joining the Central team, Tom has been promoted to Senior Systems Administrator. In his most recent role as Senior Network Administrator, a position he assumed in June 2017, Tom was responsible for advanced systems administration tasks, including monitoring network, business applications, virus protection, disaster recovery, operations, managing the storage area network, employee file permissions, and firewall. He also provided maintenance and troubleshooting of network components. Some of the most notable highlights while working with Central would be migrating a majority of the company's physical servers into a virtual environment, moving the Microsoft Office application suite into the cloud, and most significantly, being an integral part of the Clever Devices implementation. On August 1st, following a 25-year career with Central, Tom said farewell to his coworkers and shut down his computer for the last time, embarking on a new journey, retirement. Tom, we want to express our gratitude for the dedication and hard work you displayed during your tenure. Thank you. We are proud to have you as a member of our team for the past 25 years. Congratulations, man. Thank you.
So I'll throw this out there. Certainly, as we go on a fact-finding mission to learn about history of our employees and really recognize them, it was brought to my attention, Tom, that I don't know how many years ago that you actually partake in actually saving employees' life with Joyce Zawicki, a name probably several people in this room don't know. Some people do know, but we're proud that you were there at that moment, certainly to save her life, and I'm sure she appreciates that you were there at the right moment at the right time. So. Just want to share that with the fact of the team that I don't think a lot of people know that, and I was able to learn that. So
thank you.
So
Appreciate
thanks
that.
for that. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Would you like to say a few words?
Yeah, I'd like to, if it's okay. So, I've, as the guys will tell you, Bruce will tell you, I'm not the quietest person, so I've been thinking about this for a while, and if it's okay with you, I'd just like to share a few thoughts. Please allow me to, and please forgive me for using this, I'm a little bit nervous. Please allow me to begin by expressing my gratitude for the past 25 years working for Central. I want to thank God for his many blessings and how he enabled me to do the job. I certainly required his divine help every day. I want to thank my wonderful wife of 34 years for standing by my side through thick and thin. Thank you, dear. And I want to express thanks to Mike Fitzgibbons, the former MIS manager, and way back at the time, I believe his name was Craig Williams, who interviewed me. You know, they took a chance on me. I was fresh out of tech school. I did a career change at 38. If you were to ask me what was what was the best thing you experienced here at Central, or what was the best thing? I would say, beyond a doubt, it's the people. I have over the years come to know so many people on both sides, mechanics, the office side, and I would just like to mention a few of their names. People who were always encouragement to me. They respected me, they cared about me, and they shared, and they helped me through difficult times in life. The first person I would like to mention is Jerry Beats, from whom our training center is named after. Jerry was the first person who reached out to me. I was a young guy tasked in the operations department for installing a new system called Trapeze, which I'm sure you all know about. I was at the beginnings of that. And it was difficult because there's this young guy coming in, and some of the dispatchers were like, who is this guy? Jerry took the time to encourage me, to befriend me, and he was in charge of the vehicles at the time, and I needed one every Monday. And he made sure I had a vehicle every Monday. And one time he came up to me and said, you know, you have potential. You're going to go far. And that meant so much to me. Dave Ryan, another guy, fantastic guy, always willing to talk and share sincerely. Steve Scher, you all know Steve. Steve was great. We reported to Steve, which wasn't the easiest thing because I used to have to go and have requisitions signed. And it was like, what? But Steve and I hit it off. He especially when he found out my uncle owned his favorite restaurant. So we used to go over to Rico's and have lunch once in a while. And Steve actually had me out to his house a few times. Kathy Fuller, she was the manager at the RTC. She was like an aunt figure to me. So every Monday she'd be like, "What's going on over there?" And Howard Wright. Revenue collection. Howard was a great guy. He helped me through some difficult times. I have to mention Warren Woodruff, aka Woody. Woody was just a character, and he was great to me, and he taught me a lot of things. I also want to mention a former employee, Alfonso Gallo, who passed away a while back. He was like a younger brother to me. I really loved him. We loved each other, and I really miss him. And as you all know, he worked for about 10 years here. And last but not least, Casey Martin, who you all know. Casey's just a fabulous guy. So I'll end with that. Just say that I'm enjoying retirement so far, not having to get up so early in the morning. My wife and I enjoy traveling, so we're hoping to do some of that. And I hope to see you guys out there. And if you see me, come over and, tug on my shirt or something. I'd love to get caught up with you guys. So thank you very much.
Thank you for your service.
Oh, yes.
I'll be the buffer for you.
All right, here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3.
Awesome.
Thanks so much, Chris.
You're welcome, Tom. Thank you. We got the box for that too. I'm sure.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome. Thank you.
All right, our next point of business is going to be, I don't want to do this one. Recognizing Monty Flynn's contributions to the board. So today we are saying farewell to one of our board members, Monty Flynn, following his 4-year term of service with the Central New York Regional Transportation Authority. Monty was appointed to Central Board on June 7, 2021 to represent the interests of the Oswego County community. During his time on the board, Monty served as a member of the nominating and pension committees. He was also a part of the CEO search committee. Monty has contributed so much to the authority, and we're grateful to have had his insight, skills, and experience during this time with us. Monty, we hope this new chapter is filled with joy, relaxation, all the things you love, and we still have openings for drivers. So congratulations, Monty, and thank you for all you've done.
Thank you.
Oh, you definitely gotta take me. Well, you gonna talk first?
You better say something.
I don't know if we have the kind of time. Go ahead.
Nah, let me see your phone. No, thank you. It's been, learned a lot. You do, good work. You got a lot of good people here. I'm sure the other side out there don't know that and all that you do, but it is, much appreciated. I try to share that message wherever I go. Heather's gonna be great. She's a really, really, really good person. She's bright, smart. I don't know if she's gonna put up with you like I did. But again, thank you. It was a pleasure, my honor, to serve. If I see you out there, I even took a bus a couple times. I was stranded. System does work, so that was good to see. But again, thank you. I'll see you out there somewhere. Jules, stay off the scooter. Hey, I'm good.
All right. I don't care who this is. I'm different.
Thank you.
Thank you. So I'm gonna go off script just for a second because Monty and I think Julius and Neil all came in at the same time. And I'm not sure what the board was like before we joined, but there's been hints that it wasn't always as fun and collaborative as we know it now to be. And I will tell you that it's been such an honor to be on this board with these folks because it's been fun. I mean, we've done good work and we've done tough work, but it's been actually fun. So I'm not sure what happened before, but I'm just telling you with the folks that I'm becoming familiar with, it's been a beautiful experience. So the money was a big part of that. So I just wanted to make sure I said that out loud.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Chris, we continuing.
Yes, sir.
So I think now James was going to introduce Heather. Is that what we're doing? So we'd like to introduce Heather Snow to the board. And I think Monty just kind of introduced you for a second. Chris?
Yeah, so as we talked a little bit last month before Heather was named to the board, and certainly I mentioned that we've all had, a couple of us had the liberty to already work with Heather in her role as the mobility manager in Oswego County. So we have a good working relationship with those folks, but now that she's part of the board, we're certainly proud to welcome you to the board to represent Oswego County. And anything we can do to continue that relationship is certainly what we're here for. So I'll open it up to you to give a few words if you'd like or want or anything.
Just keep it short. I'm excited to be here to learn from the rest of this group and continue the great work that Monty has done over the past years in representing our county. So, thank you.
Welcome. You know the quorum present?
Yes, sir.
All right. And next meeting date is September 26th, 2025. We did have an audit and finance committee earlier this morning.
That's just highlighted. We'll have
Yeah.
audit and finance committee at 9 a.m. on the 26th.
On the
and board
26th,
meeting at 9:30 on the 26th.
Okay. And motion to approve the regular minutes of July 2025. So can I get a motion to approve regular minutes of July 25th? Arlene?
Second.
Julius? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. All right, Chris, Chief Executive Officer report.
Thank you, Mr. Vice Chairman. Good morning, members of the board. So, semi-active month. Certainly, we know everybody's gearing up for the state fair. Robin will give you guys a little bit of an update there. We're day 3 just kicked off, but July 27th, following last month's board meeting, I was asked to participate in the Spina Bifida Transportation Summit, which I briefly mentioned in conversation on that July 25th board meeting. But the panel was called Transportation Services Now. So I spoke to the group about transportation services we provide with a focus. They've asked me to focus on the call bus services that we provide. So speaking with a group about the accessibility to the services, certainly challenges as we try to provide those services, and how we gather input from the folks that use our service. So it was a good discussion. Time was of the essence. The window of that panel, we could have probably sat there and talked for 3 hours. But it was greatly appreciated that I was there. The conversation was lively, the questions were good. It was their first summit, and certainly they appreciated us being there. But it's all part of just getting our information out there to everybody. So I was proud to be part of that panel, and certainly open the doors to other panels for Centro to be part of. In the month of July to August is the end of our quarterly Reaching Productivity Milestones award program. And the leadership team and myself traveled to all the outside properties. So we were in Oswego and Auburn, we were in Utica, we were here in Syracuse, we were down in Cortland to celebrate the awards of all of our employees, the quarterly winners, partake in lunch and refreshments with them, answer questions, have some conversations. So just to recognize the quarterly winners for this quarter, we have the operator of the quarter, Hal Carroll, who is an operator here in Syracuse with 29 years of service. We have maintenance employee of the quarter, Homer Davis, who just coming up in about his 40 years. He has 39 full years now. His 40-year anniversary is next week. Who is a mechanic here in the farebox room. And then the admin employee of the quarter, Amber Miller, who is celebrating 11 years. The program continues to grow. We're seeing a lot of people come together to celebrate these milestones and accomplishments. We talk about years of service for everybody that meets the milestones, 25 years, 30 years. We also have two milestones that happen for our board members as we talk about you guys coming on. Luella Williams, who's not here, and Bob Suselich, who are celebrating 15 years on the Central board. So we certainly want to recognize them for their commitment as we recognize all of our employees in 15 years. So Bob, thank you, and we'll certainly recognize Luella when she's here next month. So congratulations to our board. Continuing on with some conversations, Tompkins Cortland Community College, also known as TC3. Bren and I met with President Kremenek to just talk about the services. So when we took over Cortland, one of the things we did was outreach. The Cortland service does connect with TC3, even though it's just over the border into Tompkins County. They do have a connection to Cortland as being one of their closer major cities besides Ithaca. So we were chatting with her just how the service is going, how things are going in Cortland as the students gear up to come back. Actually, probably this week down at TC3. Just making sure that we have communication, that the service is running, we're meeting their needs, and if there's anything they can help us with. But also they're looking at updating their facilities master plan. So in the coming weeks, they're going to reach out to us to be part of that discussion. They want to increase the availability for students in a safer turnaround point for buses, because we do connect with TCAT, which is Tompkins County Area Transit, from Ithaca at TC3. So our customers from Cortland will transfer that into Ithaca at that point. So they want to beef up that transfer point and include us in that to make sure that their specifications and design meets our specifications for bus turning radius and such. So it was a great conversation there, and we certainly appreciate that relationship and partnership. A few things going off my report to notify the board of something. I know we've had some one-off conversations, certainly Bob and Nick, when we were down in Washington, D.C. in May. We were notified by our Gillig partner, our bus manufacturer that manufactures all of our fixed route buses in May, just before we actually went down to Washington, that they are putting a pause on their hydrogen fuel cell bus program. And we've talked for several years about exploring the hydrogen fuel cell market as we dip their toe into the zero emissions fleet transition plan. So with this, Gillig putting a pause on their program, last year we were awarded 2 grants, a low-no grant, low or no emissions grant from the federal government. And we were also awarded a New York State DOT CMAQ grant, which is Congestion Mitigation and Air Quality Grant, totaling $15.3 million to convert our fleet, or start the conversion of our fleet to hydrogen fuel cell buses, but also bring in fueling components, increasing safety measures within the facility for these new technology vehicles. It includes training for the employees, But with the pause on their program, the way the program works is we submit the application for a competitive grant, and our partnership bypasses the competitive process that typically we would do during audited finance. That we've put a procurement out, we've had 3 responses, etc. So our only vendor was Gillig for these vehicles, and some other things that come along with the hydrogen fuel cell certainly is the availability of fuel. We also, one of our partnerships was with the fueling skid. So the component that we would add the hydrogen fuel cell will that would compress it and then fuel the buses, that technology is still under development. So as we've worked through this with a group, the facilities team, the maintenance team, accounting, certainly operations, to really feel what is our best path forward, we decided to rescope the grant. So the FTA actually reached out to us, and Tara, is she here? I can't remember the date, but we received a letter directly from the FTA stating that with the uncertainty of the technology and being that we haven't obligated these funds, would we like to rescope the propulsion system on these vehicles? So that is what we have done to ensure that we can maintain that $15.3 million. We don't want to lose that funding, certainly. And talking with the various members of the leadership team that represent their departments, the funding is certainly going to help us continue to support our investment in CNG and increase our safety measures. So on July 29th, we submitted a letter to Region 2 FTA Director Michael Kulata to ask him to approve our rescope so we can keep our partnership with Gillig. We can keep a lot of the components and the safety measures that we are going to install here in the facility, but also bring in CNG and something, a technology that we've been working on for 33 years that has been very successful for us. One thing we're realizing in research and working with our counterparts across the country here in New York State is the zero emission technology is not as reliable as sometimes we hope it is. And the technology here, certainly in the Northeast, we're seeing that battery degradation based on cold weather, terrain is becoming a concern. And with us doing Syracuse University events, certainly the New York State Fair we're operating right now, we wanted to make sure that our technology and our transition plan is solid, that our customers can rely on us. So we are certainly waiting on a response from FTA Administrator Kulata, or not Administrator, Regional Director Michael Kulata, to make that determination that it was approved or if it's not approved. But I just wanted to let the board know that we have moved forward with that plan to hopefully maintain that $15.3 million. And certainly looking at the federal administration as it sits right now, we're in that wheelhouse of technology that they are comfortable with and they're supporting. So we're hopeful that we're going to get approval on that. Any questions? I know there's a lot of information there, and certainly there'll be more to come as we know more what happens with this grant, and then certainly our transition plan for future years. As we also know, and I'll highlight, I don't know, Jeff, I don't want to steal your report, but we've approved upgrades to our existing CNG station. So with these infrastructure upgrades, they also have a 20-year useful life. So we have to maintain that equipment for 20 years. So that technology will be finalized, that upgrade, it will be probably spring, early summer of next year. And that'll start the clock for that 20 years. So we also have to make sure we have CNG buses to support that technology. So this will help us kind of cover both areas.
Chris, you have a timeline on their answer? Like how long?
I don't believe they gave us a timeline. Generally speaking, when you submit a competitive grant, they usually give you a response within 75 days. So we're hoping by the end of this year we'll know. But as we all know, their staffing has also been cut significantly. So we're just patiently waiting.
And Melissa and Tara meet with the FTA almost bi-weekly, monthly, and they're asked the question, but we're not really getting a straight answer. I think they're still working through the process. So, but as soon as we know, I will let the board know. Any other questions on that topic?
The CNG vehicles, are those in Oswego County, or is the facility not able to house the CNG vehicles?
Currently, the facility in Oswego County cannot house compressed natural gas. It doesn't have the components to fuel it, and we don't have the safety measures in the building department inside. We have sent CNG a little tidbit of information. We have the green buses that we put in St. Patrick's Day Parade, so they were both compressed natural gas buses. So we used to send one to Utica. They could park it outside, so we would make sure it's fuel, drive it there, park it outside because they couldn't park it in the building, use it for the parade, and then send it back here. So right now the technology is not available for Oswego County, but it is, looking at this opportunity, we know it's near zero emissions with the compressed natural gas. So as we look at the administration and looking at the grant funding, maybe down the road, there is an avenue that we can look at using at least a step to zero of using CNG in our smaller outside properties. With the Utica consolidation project going on, that's one of the avenues we're looking at, is how do we outfit the building to be prepared for diesel, which they are today, but maybe CNG or zero emissions of some sort. So it's certainly possible.
Great, thank you.
Any other questions on zero emissions topics? A few other things, and certainly what I like to comment on is our community involvement. As probably many of you heard and saw in the news the last couple of weeks, Mary Nelson, a great advocate for our underprivileged youth here in the south side of Syracuse. She does her annual backpack giveaway. So on August 16th, we received a call from the city, well, prior to August 16th, about a month ago, we received a call from the mayor's office and Fire Chief Mons. They were looking to relocate Mary Nelson's giveaway to Meacham Field. Usually she gets about 4,000 to 5,000 children that sign up to receive a backpack with school supplies as we ramp up for the school season. And they do it down here on Salina Street, so it impacts traffic flow, it impacts our buses, just people in the area that it delays. So they reached out to us to see if they relocate her to Meacham Field, would we help participate in getting people from that neighborhood to Meacham Field to allow the traffic to continue to flow with no disruption there, but also people in the neighborhood that don't have transportation means to get to Meacham Field still can. So on August 16th, we provided that shuttle for that event. They had probably north of 10,000 people, and I'm looking at Janine because I know you drove by that area, but I think she had north of 10,000 people show up this year to collect backpacks and school supplies. We were able to provide the bus service for them. I think we had a little less than 100 people actually take the bus. I'm not sure the reasoning from that of people not being aware of it or being concerned that it was a charge shuttle or something. So I have a follow-up conversation with Chief Mons coming up to just understand, and certainly if this is a continuation for future years, it may be something we can improve upon for that event. But certainly 10,000 people coming up for that is a tremendous increase of almost 100% from what she had last year. The other piece is our Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Certainly as we embark on October, we've really involved ourselves in supporting breast cancer awareness for our employees and for our customers. And last year we launched the Men Wear Pink campaign. It really wasn't tied to why I have this jacket on, I swear. It's just a coincidence of August, I typically wear this. So we are debuting for the second year in a row our American Cancer Society Men Wear Pink bus. So the bus will be debuted at the end of September. It'll hit the streets for the month of October. We also are adding a couple events this year. So we are in the process right now for a fundraising opportunity for all the ambassadors. And it's actually a combination of Onondaga County, Madison County, and Oneida County are all combining as ambassadors for the Central New York team to sell ribbons on this bus. So there's an opportunity for businesses to, I think it's $1,500. All the proceeds go to the American Cancer Society for breast cancer, but you can have your ribbon debuted on the side of the bus, which is a great opportunity for the business and for American Cancer Society. But also for us as Centro, we are debuting on October 3rd. So if you guys want to get a team together, Tony, maybe you and the fellow board members, of a team of 8 that can test their strength to pull a 40-foot bus. How far can you pull it in 30 seconds? So this will be the pink bus that you will tow. It'll be a Friday. It's Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock here in our Call-A-Bus barn. So the maintenance team has been working to make sure we have all the safety measures and all the right components together to make this happen. But we're inviting people to sign up for $200 a team or $25 a person to test their strengths in towing a bus and have an opportunity to pull a 20-ton, 40,000-pound vehicle. So CDTA does do this. We did take it from CDTA's fundraising opportunities. It's a lot of fun. It's our first year doing it, so we're going to see how it goes and hopefully see it grow in the coming years. Any questions?
Is that open to the public?
It is open to the public. We're encouraging anybody that wants to come down and have a team to do it.
What's the date?
October 3rd. And I can send out a reminder to the board members, to do it.
I'm much smarter than that. I'm old enough to be smart. That's the muscle waiting to be pulled. No?
You could
That's
be the
what-
cheerleader.
No, that's when you go and get young people to do it.
Yeah.
So we're looking to try to get maybe some local competitive competitions, maybe the Utica Comets and the Syracuse Crunch. Of course, they have a scrimmage and a game that weekend, so they can't participate. But also part of my conversation with Chief Mons is to see if we can get the firefighters to come in. I will share in Albany, the firefighters are now, I think, 2 or 3 year reigning champions in Albany. So we'll see where this goes for us here. But we're excited to do it. The marketing team is doing a lot of legwork to get this up. So if you know anybody or you share the word, please put it out there. Go ahead, Julius.
Well, Chris, I don't know where else to bring this up before I forget, but I'm 80 years old right now. Part of your report, you gave a chance, Southwest Community Center celebrating their 50-year anniversary, which is coming in November.
Yeah.
I just happened to be part of it when it was first accomplishing the Southwest Community Center, when we got their first grant 50 years ago. So that, you know all that makes me. So if anyone go on the side, Southwest Community Center, I'll pass it around, you can look at it, okay?
Sure. Thank you. Any other questions on my report? So I will open it up to the senior staff reports. So Raman, I know you're on a time schedule, so I'll throw you in first as the fair wraps up for the day.
Good morning, everyone. Good morning, members of the board.
Morning.
So as Chris alluded to earlier, it is very busy. The fair is going on. We're at day 3. This is actually the busiest time of the year for us in operations, not just because of the fair, but also the prep for the last month, as well as entering into the fall time of year where we have schools back in session, we have SU back in session. SU. This is a very, very busy time of year for us. But for starters, the last month there's been a lot of prep. Everything from striping park and ride lots to putting out all the barriers at the park and ride locations and working with DOT and troopers and everything. It's been a lot of work, but I want to just point out and thank all the people at Centro that put so much effort into it. There's many weeks where people don't even have a day off because of the state fair, and this time of year she's very busy. So wanted to thank everyone for that. Also, so far so good. We're day 3. It's gone very smoothly. First day was a little bit cold and rainy, so our attendance was a little bit down, our ridership was a little bit down, but yesterday was very nice, and we had a good concert, so attendance is back up. We are anticipating more or less a standard fair. I would say ridership for us, I'm anticipating our parking rides to be a little bit busier than usual, just because the parking rates have continued to go up and our bus rate, our fares have not gone up. We're still only charging $1 per person, so I think there's going to be a natural progression to go to the park and ride locations. That and all the traffic, it's just easier for people to park and ride. As we move on beyond the fair, though, we have SU starting classes on Monday. We have Oswego coming back in session. There's just a lot going on, we're planning for all of it. We have also. We're at a point now where we're going to roll out something new with the city schools, where we're going to use their school IDs as the bus passes. This is going to be something we're going to be rolling out this fall. We're really looking forward to it because it's just much easier for operations in general. There's one credential instead of 2, a lot less for the students to have to worry about, a lot less for our operators to have to worry about. So we're looking forward to rolling that out with the new fare box system that we procured about a year and a half ago. We're able to do those kinds of changes, and hopefully this will be the first of many that we could potentially use an actual ID as the credential, as the bus pass. So that is more or less it for me. I don't know if there's any questions regarding what's going on in operations, but we're busy and excited. Yeah.
Will their passes be able to tap?
Yes.
Just one.
Oh, I'm sorry, so yes, but it is the credential, you can switch it to actually use for the bus fare, yes. Yes.
Is it the barcode that's gonna use, that's utilizing?
It's the magnetic strip on the back.
Right.
Yep.
In the past, the other bus companies, Rochester, Buffalo, Albany, helped us out. Are they helping us this year?
No, it is just Centro this year, yeah.
Yeah, we haven't had, Rochester was here the last 19, but outside of that, that was the last time we've had anybody really help us out. Everybody's dealing with manpower shortages, so as we looked at it through the years, when we were originally talking 17, we had Rochester, Albany, and Buffalo come in 2017. That was when Governor Cuomo was trying to break the record for the New York State Fair. The following year, we had some help from Albany and Buffalo, and just the cost of sending their buses and their team here was large. But then once we got out of the pandemic, it really came down to manpower, being able to send staff here to help us out. So it's really just been our team, and that's where we've consolidated and done some reconfiguring of our park and rides to make sure the service we are providing, we can guarantee. One other comment, if you don't mind, Mr. Chairman, is, certainly Ramen thanking the team. I want to thank everybody for the State Fair setup. The drivers, the mechanics, the salaried staff, certainly every department in here touches it, or their staff are out there because it's all employees, backing up buses. I know Chris Morial's here from HR. They're out there backing up buses to make sure we're operating safely. Trainers. So this is all hands on deck. This is all above and beyond what everybody does on a regular day basis. The buses are still running fixed route service. And then anything for the fair is above and beyond that. And certainly that goes for the same thing with staff. We're still doing everything in-house to keep the buses rolling on a regular basis. So thank you to everybody for their commitment. The 13 days is a lot, but leading up to it is a lot. We start planning, 6-8 months in advance to plan for 13 days. So thank you to everybody for that, and certainly we appreciate it.
So previous years, you got to drive. In your new role, do you get to chance to drive?
I have not in the last couple of years, and that was really tied to having my daughter. So I haven't driven in the last 3 years. My wife works for the fair, so somebody has to be home because she's there for probably 10-12 hours this year. She's not there. She's on maternity leave for our second daughter. But if they need me this year, I'm in. I'm certainly
I'll do everything I can.
But
You might want to take the rest now.
yeah.
How old's your baby now, Chris?
My oldest will be 3 in September. My youngest is a month old Monday. And I don't know if it's my news to share, but Neil is also, his wife had their baby, so
Oh, beautiful.
that's why he's not here today. Hopefully I'm not out of line on that, Mr. Chairman, but thank you, Ramen. Jackie.
Just extend the family, that's all.
It
That's a celebration.
is.
Babies are blessings,
Yeah.
even when they're kind of sad.
Good morning, Mr. Vice Chairman and members of the board. Just a couple of updates that I wanted to share with you. First, on our recruiting front, we started a campaign focusing on hiring drivers in Central of Portland this past month. And we also attended a recruiting event in Homer for Portland drivers too, in which we got a couple of candidates. So we're looking good on that front. I think we have about 4 that we might be looking at potential candidates bringing into Central Portland going, I guess, in the future, I should say. We are going to be holding another open house, as our CEO, Chris Tuff, mentioned on Bridge Street this week. That is going to be on September 6th from 9 to noon at Centra. I do know that we already have a good pool of candidates to choose from. We've interviewed about 16 potential candidates for drivers already in the Syracuse area, along with many others coming in. So hopefully we'll have a great class to start. Our class will be starting on September 29th. We're looking to at least have a potential of 20 candidates for drivers. Secondly, we have on September 13th, our trainers part of the operations and part of our service development, we'll be going down to Portland to train the drivers down there on manifests, routes, accident reports, everything, and answer any questions that they may have. We kind of, when we took them over, we gave them kind of a really fast briefing, and now we're actually going down and we're gonna spend time with them just to make sure they know how to read a manifest, they know how to read a route manual, they know where the stops, that we have designated stops now and not running sharp ahead of schedule and everything. So we'll be spending time with those drivers on September 13th. And lastly, we will be hosting another wellness fair this year at Centro. That will be on September 18th. We will be having vendors that appeared last year, along with some employees recommended some new vendors. So we're gonna have some new vendors coming in the door for that event. Any questions? Yes.
So with your recruiting efforts, I talked to Brian a little bit about this a while ago, but have you guys received any type of updates from the state or other regional authorities about the requirements with the lower weight class threshold vehicles not requiring the CDLBs? Requiring the CDLC license to start?
So we've had discussions about the whole CDLC and, going with our color buses with the lower, the smaller vehicles and everything. We're still in discussion about that.
Okay.
For future, planning purposes. Nothing has been decided yet though. So, yes.
To know. It's the talk of the town, so.
Yeah. Yep. Any other questions?
The question is not related to that though.
Okay.
My question is, I'm having a difficult time throughout this city with them closing down streets all over the place. How's that affecting our, routes?
You wanna jump in, Steve?
Sure, I mean,
Oh, sorry.
we treat them as just any other detour. We find out about it sometimes when we pull up.
I was gonna say, do you know ahead of time at all?
The city's been very good about letting us know, and NISDOT about 81 construction related stuff. So we do get a decent amount of heads up, not always, but we have the ability to just put them on detour, put the information out, push it out on our social media and our alert system and let customers know. So it hasn't been that big of a deal, but it's, you're in construction season. And
Could you get me on that notification list? So
Sure. Yeah, it's gonna get worse. When the viaduct starts coming down, you're gonna see a lot more traffic on secondary streets, and some of those secondary streets are gonna be closed because of the construction's going. So it's gonna be a challenge in the next 2 to 3 years for sure.
That
Thank you, Jack.
concludes my report. Thank you.
Steve?
Sure. Morning, everybody.
Morning.
Give you an update on ridership and a couple other items, and then we'll have Paul come up and talk about some reports that have to be looked over by the board and motions for our Title VI report. So ridership in the month of July, not surprisingly, continues to grow. Overall, about an 8% increase month over month when you adjust for the number of weekdays. So that's good. Syracuse was up about 6%. Auburn had a very good month, up about 10%. Oswego was flat, but they've recovered very well from post-pandemic. Utica was up about 6%, and Rome was up 42%, but that's a little misleading because they had the tornado last year and there's a lot of the service that was lost. But Rome continues to grow. Year over year, we're up 30% year over year, so it's doing very well. Cortland seems to be very consistent, about 4,700 riders every month. This is our first year, obviously, in Cortland with no comparatives to the previous year. So it's just something that we're monitoring and seeing how ridership continues down there. Speaking of Cortland, I think last month I mentioned that we were going to put into place some service enhancements beginning in September. After further review with the team, the service development team, we're just not comfortable moving forward with those right now. Some timing issues that we're not completely sure of about whether or not the routes that we had proposed could continue to meet on time and have the buses meet. So we're going to reevaluate what we're doing down there. potentially for some different types and different routings that would occur probably either in January or March of this year. So we're going to make no service changes in September for the city of Portland. We are moving forward on our Oswego system redesign, doing some more public outreach in coming months in September for a rollout there in January. We're having some stakeholder meetings in the next few weeks with some areas that have some concerns about what we're providing, what we're planning to do. We'll meet with them and hopefully ease their concerns and their fears of what the proposals are. As has kind of been touched on, the STEAM school is beginning service for the first time this fall. We're providing some additional services. Tony will let you know that we have 2 specific routes for those students. One will cover what I would consider east of ID1, one will cover what is west of ID1, getting students to the STEAM school, very similar to the other school services that we currently provide. The length of the routes are a little longer than we're used to. It's about an hour, a little bit over an hour, so some students may be on the bus a while, but that gets them directly from their neighborhood right to the school. So it's really important, I think, that we provide that service in the first year at least of getting the STEAM school up and running. Any questions on any of that before I bring Paula up to the table?
Just a thank you for the consideration.
Absolutely.
We know we're trying to get off to a positive start, so just having the company and look into it and consider doing something different was appreciated.
Our pleasure. Any other? With that, I'm going to bring Paula up to the table to talk about some elements of our Title VI report. Title VI, we've been bringing you elements for the past couple of months. These are more that will go into our program report that is due next month, and we'll get a copy of the entire report before having to take action on it next month. Paula.
Thank you, Steve. That's a great introduction. Good morning, everyone.
Morning.
All right, so I have a stack of stuff for you today, as you know from your board packets. So we are going to start with, I have 2 new Title VI documents and the revisions to the CNY RTA service standards and policies that we discussed last month. So we're going to start there first. So based on feedback from the July meeting, we have updated the bus stop spacing to provide for a maximum of 6 bus stops per mile in areas of urban population density, as well as the disclaimer that, quote, these standards depend on terrain, walkability, and street grid design, end quote, because we want to make sure that although we're saying the standard is 3 to 6, there could be instances where we need to do something else, right? We want to make sure that we give ourselves a little leeway if we need it. We also added the definitions of urban, suburban, and rural population density to the definition section in the beginning of the document. Those are the only changes we made based on the feedback. So if the board agrees with these changes that we have made, I'd like to ask for a motion to accept the revised CNY RTA service standards and policies.
I would like to add one thing, is that specifically, it was the board in general, but Neil had specifically asked for these types of changes. We reached out to Neil prior to this. He has agreed, he was on board with this, so he is aware of these changes and thought it was a good change.
Yes, 100%. Thank you, Steve.
So, we need a motion to approve. If there are any other board members have any other questions? Need a motion to approve the service standards and policies, executive summary changes. Julius? Darlene? All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion
Okay.
passes.
Oops, sorry. Thank you. Great. Okay, next up, rolling right along, we have the Title VI program policies update. So these are policies that we follow when looking at our major service change and fare changes. As you know, we've had service and population changes since these policies were last revised in 2019. So now is the time when we actually need to update these policies to make sure we're not watering down the protections for people who need it the most, which are our minority and low-income populations. So the updated thresholds we proposed reflect populations that meaningfully exceed our service area averages for minority and low-income populations, which we looked at as 1.5 times the system average. So there was a lot of math done, okay? Lots of analysis done in the background here. I'm not gonna bore you with the details. Please know that we have looked at this every which way we can and have determined based on other agencies and what they're doing that this is a good way for us to go forward. We have also updated our definition of low income to refer to persons as opposed to households. And we've switched from using 50% of the median household income to 150% of the U.S. Department of Health and Human Services poverty guidelines, okay? This is the same standard used by the Community Services Block Grant Act. It will streamline our census data processing, and it will allow us to maximize our investment in the Remix software because now we can use the Title VI tools contained within. So that's a benefit for everyone. Are there any questions about the policies?
I would like to make a comment about the Remix software. I
Yes.
think it's fabulous software. We use Remix and Via in our county and it's great for
It makes life so much easier and it's tremendous. I agree wholeheartedly.
It has revolutionized the way the service development department can do our jobs. I don't know if anyone has told you that yet, but it's amazing. Yep, you put in the power of maps in everybody's hands instead of them just being like in my grasp, basically is what it's done, so. But if the board agrees with these changes that we've made, I'd like to again ask for a motion to accept these revised Title VI program policies.
Just a quick question, is there anyone adversely affected by the changes?
No.
Good answer.
Everything has gone in the other direction, which we've made the thresholds more, how do I put it?
Inclusive.
Yeah, that's a very good word.
Appropriate for our area, so you
Yeah.
don't wanna, in consulting with CDTA, we don't wanna water down the protections for minority or low income persons by saying everybody is meeting this threshold. We wanna make sure that it's equally, applied. Yes, yep.
Mr. Chairman, the software allows Centro to see demographics and criteria around specific routes that you have. So you can take a look at one route and see demographics that are just around that one route. It's gonna be amazing for you.
And I also, I do use ArcGIS, I'm a GIS specialist, so yes, but to that point, it allows other people in the organization to also be able to do that stuff. So you're not just dependent on me, God forbid something happens, right? You need somebody else to be able to look at this stuff, so this will allow us to train someone else.
Let me ask you a question.
Yes.
Is this online where I can be able to study this online and stuff like that?
Yes, so this policy change was, put out to the public for comment for 30 days.
Because I have to
Yes,
take note of what I could come from this and so online study.
yes, absolutely, and I'd be
It's in the
happy.
board packet as well, right?
It's in the board
Right, yeah,
packet,
I'm
and
looking
I'd
at
be happy to answer any questions that you have. But again, we updated, so we already had Title VI policies, we updated them to apply more, to what our current population is.
After I go home and sit down in my retirement area, I'll be there studying, I may have some questions for you.
Absolutely, I'm available anytime, I think you have my card, so you can.
Okay, so we need a motion to approve Title VI program policies updated, executive summary, that Paula's presented to us. So, can I get a motion? Robert? Any second? All right. All in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Check passes.
Thank you very much. And finally, right, we're gonna close it out here. We have the Transit Service Standards Monitoring Program Report, which, as you see, is quite lengthy. FTA requires us to monitor transit services against our service standards and guidelines. So for this report, we looked at all the routes in Onondaga, Oneida, Cayuga, and Oswego counties against the standards last approved in 2019. We have concluded that there is no evidence of a disparate impact on the basis of race, color, or national origin in any of our 6 service standard categories, which are included in the report. So the revised standards that you accepted first thing today in this presentation is going to be used to monitor services for the next 3 years, right? So this report is based on the previous set of standards. The next report will be the revised standards. This includes Portland County, which I want to mention, which we will analyze when we have the data to do so. So currently, we do not have the data that we need because the buses are not equipped with any of the technology that we use to do the types of analysis we need to do. So after those buses come online and we're able to collect enough data, we will do, if it's before the 3-year term is up, we'll do an analysis of that separately that we'll present exactly what Steve recommended. And then 3 years from now, we will conduct an analysis of all of our properties again. So does anyone have any questions about the content of the monitoring program? Okay, so then I would need to ask for a motion to accept the 2025 Transit Service Standards Monitoring Program report.
Okay, motion to approve. All right, Julius? All right. All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion carries. Thank you.
Thank you very much. And as Steve stated, next month, we're all looking forward to next month because I'm bringing you the full Title VI program that will be hundreds of pages.
And summarized nicely in the
That-
first page, right?
You have it, sir.
There
It
you
will be
go.
summarized
All right.
to the T. But yes, so that'll be the culmination of all these past months of me being here. Well, yes, but then I'm not done. I'll be back the month after that. But still, Title VI program, we're very excited to be wrapping this up. So thank you very much for your time.
Does anybody have any questions for us in general? All right, thank you very much.
Thank you, Steve. Thank you, Paul. Jeff, rounding it out.
Thank you, Chris. Morning, Mr. Chairman. Morning, members of the board. Last month, I brought some news about the fueling station. I got some better news this month. One of the original builders, Don Farcone from DF Automations, came out to help us with the 3 skids to get the controls back in order, in addition to getting the backup skid up and running. And then we had Trillian come out with some of their techs to help our techs get one of the skids, the compression inside, rebuilt. And that took them about a week, which was fantastic. Everything is up and running now, where it should be, knock on wood. We do have 1 skid still down, but the good news is that Trillian's gonna be out in 3 weeks to start the build. So they're gonna be out here to start putting the new electric skids. So we're gonna save the money and not put money into the 3rd skid. We get the 2 skids running plus the backup, so we're good to go there. Utica, they have a diesel tank. The tank started to rust away to the point where we needed to replace it, so we had that ordered up, and they came out this week to start the process. They're filling from a temp tank right now, and they should have that up and running within a month. As for the barriers, we discussed this last month a little bit. Just a quick update, we got a quote for the locking mechanisms. Working on getting that ordered and getting campaign to get that all set. And lastly, Portland, Grant Street, as mentioned, it was going to be opening up in September 8th. I just wanted to give a special thanks to David Caraccio for spearheading this project, procurement, for securing the contractors to perform a lot of the services there, and to Buildings and Grounds, Nate Dow, and Bruce Kingsley. Bruce Kingsley is the facility tech that's been on site there doing things like fixing the walls, painting them, running wires, running water lines and such, to name a few. And I wanted to call David Caraccio up to do a little presentation on what took place, some before and after pictures of locations so everybody can see what it looks like. Any questions before that happens? No? Okay. You want to go over there maybe?
Yeah.
Okay.
It should automatically pop up if it doesn't, it'll pop up.
Yep. Alright.
Thank you, Jeff. Thank you, Mr. Chairman and members of the board. 40 Grant Street has been a testament really to Centro as a whole and our resiliency of taking on a project and in a very short timeline go to the entire building around. This is really a testament to all the departments within Centro and everyone coming together. I was notified mid-April that I was going to be taking on this project, and while we had identified and procured the lease agreement for 40 Grant Street, which was a mechanic shop before, it had a lot of severe deferment of maintenance, deferred maintenance on the property. So what you're seeing right now is some of the photos at the very beginning, as well as the construction projects that we've had throughout the renovation projects we've had throughout the time from April to now. I have to say special thanks. Jeff already kind of hit a couple of those to the team members that came together. First being Bob from IT. He has been my kind of right-hand man with the project management. Him and I sat down day one and went through where we needed cameras, door access, data drops, and he's really taken that part of the project and ran with it on his own. So special thanks to Bob. Procurement. This is added to their already high workload for all the items you see that was renovated. So not only were they able to maintain their current procurement workload, but also to take on the additional workload we had. Caitlin and I sat down day one, came up with a plan to spread out the procurement cycle, and we've not only planned it, but we also executed it to a T. There's only one item that we're still working on, which is the stairs. We have identified the contractor we're gonna go with, but we had estimated about 10 to 15,000. The first bid that came in was 60,000. So we had to redefine scope, kind of tighten things up a little bit, and now we're down to 11,000. So we were able to get back into the line we were planning for originally. Our facilities team, specifically our buildings and grounds, has helped out a ton. We took a lot of the workload in-house, which is great. We gave more work to our buildings and grounds staff. We've also proven their expertise and the reasons why we need that staff, for those staff members on our team, not only just for the maintenance, but also for some significant renovations as well. We are on track for September 8th as our grand opening, but because of the fairgrounds, actually we can open up sooner, but because of the fairgrounds, we decided it's more beneficial to wait until the very end of the fair to be able to transition all the IT equipment over and do our official launch on the 8th. I'm excited for this facility. I'm actually really excited to see it being utilized and seeing operations being worked out of there within less than a month. Any questions about the facility? No? Thank you.
Thank you for that.
Good job, you did. And certainly thanks Jeff, David, and the team. They did a fantastic job of taking a regular heavy equipment garage and turning it into a facility that we can utilize and repurpose it for Centro standards. It's not a building that we built, it's a building that we made our own. The Cortland team has seen some of these pictures and have been over to the building. They are certainly appreciative of the work we've done and what the building looks like. If Ryan was here, or any of them were here, they'd tell you it's certainly an upgrade from where they have been in their previous facilities. So thank you to the team on that. And with that, Mr. Chairman, that concludes my report.
Great. Thank you. Real thorough work this happening here. Appreciate that. Yeah, these again.
Yes, so now you got to approve them for the full vote. So audit and finance met today.
So audit and finance met today, and property insurance renewal came up that was presented by John Miloff. And we need to do it with the full board. We need to bring it to the full board. So I need a motion to approve the property insurance renewal. Dolly? Janice? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Motion passes. Thank you. And we also got 25-26 first quarter financial statement from Melissa. Very thorough report. We appreciate. So I need a motion to approve the 25-26 first quarter financial statement. Robert? Darlene? And all in favor? Any opposed? Any abstentions? Thank you, motion approved, passes. Any old business?
No, sir. No. Julie's older
That's
than.
the whole business about the Southwest Community Center, which I brought up earlier, they're gonna have the 50th anniversary. And just a few minutes, Mr. Chairman, this Southwest Community Center, as you know, started way back. When I was in Syracuse, New York, we started a program called YEP program under, and that program, the Southwest Community Center was the one that helped to get the southwest side on order, so to speak. It was a chaos over there. Now, Southwest Community Center, as I wrote that to you, Chris, about all the things and people that came through that center. It has some of the people who came through there are heads of programs and stuff like that. And I know when I was a chairperson there for 2 years, and I was on the board for like 16 years or something like that. But if anyone knows, Valerie, who's the CEO, who's the CEO at the firm, please contact her and let them know that we appreciate what Southwest is doing. And I know Central is getting closer and closer to Southwest also.
Yeah, well, thank you.
I served on the board many years as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, I was the president of the board for a while.
yeah,
Over there, so, yeah, it always feels like home.
it is.
Thank you for that, yes, always. Future business.
Can I mention one thing quickly? I just want to make sure the board knows that there's an event honoring Barry Schulman, my predecessor and a longtime, counsel for Centro, on September 17th. It's a breakfast at 8 in the morning at Drumlins. It's kind of a lifetime achievement award for his pro bono legal service over the course of his career to folks who can't afford attorneys, and it's sponsored by the Hiscox Legal Aid Society. So it's going to be a pretty big event, and I think Barry and Debbie will be there. There'll be a slideshow about him, and I'm sure he would appreciate if any board members and staff members also come. And so let me know if you're interested. It's September 17th, and it's I'm sure Barry would appreciate it. Our firm will have a table there, so we'll have several McKinsey folks, but Central folks can come also. That'd be great.
Make sure you send us a copy of that through the email or something.
Oh, I'll send you it.
Janine sent it out a couple
Did you?
weeks ago.
Okay.
I'll have Janine refresh it out. I know Heather, you
Okay.
received it, and I think you signed up for it. We will have several staff there as well.
Okay.
Some of us will be out of town for a conference, but we will have staff there to represent Central at the event.
September.
School started.
Okay. Any other future business items? I do believe we have a need to go into executive session to obtain advice from our counsel. So if the board could stay just for a few minutes, I think we have some business we need to talk about.
Okay, you'll need a motion to go.
I need a motion. I need a motion to go into executive session. Ronnie? Heather? All in favor?
Aye.
Any opposed? Any abstentions? Okay, so we go ahead and into executive. Come out of executive session?
No,
Just
we're-
coming
we're-
out of executive
Just coming out of
session,
executive
no
session.
action taken,
No action taken.
adjourned.
Meeting adjourned.